If you're a business, you want to make sure to complete a business application or be added to a business account. If you're an individual, which none of you should be, you would want to complete the individual account. So with that, let's get going. So log in up here. If you click on the home button, it'll always bring you back to this screen. You've got the welcome modal here. So this is our staging environment. Production looks the same, but it's telling me welcome Lisa Long Long because that's my staging name, what the date is, how to connect with our office if you have questions, how to find additional resources. You'll also find them over here under support. So we'll get to that. And then how to register for a webinar, much like this one. We also have a search webinar coming up. That is next Tuesday, I believe, the 24th. And unfortunately, I don't remember the time, but I'm confident that Kristen or Corey can put that information in the chat pod so you can get that, and we'll get that out following today's webinar. We'll get that out to you in an email as well. And we do have a recorded one out there too. So if you don't want to or can't attend next week, there's a recorded version of it out there too. Okay, next is we have home and how to change your password. And so I'm not going to make any changes here, but I want to show you a couple things. One, if you're using eSubmission, you may want to select this attributes box that it says by default, use the party name information from the first document for all subsequent documents in a group. You'll see this in the demo that when I enter the name in the first document on a group, on the next document, it will be populated. So I don't have to enter it again, but I can edit it. So that's important to remember. I think it's a huge time saver, and it's something that came out of the focus groups that we did throughout the development of this new eSubmission, which we refer to as 2.0. How I would change my password. And here's all the password requirements: uppercase, lowercase, number, special characters, at least 14 characters, and not more than 50, and they do need to be changed every 90 days. I'm going to go back to Submitter here, get back to the home screen, and show you eSearch. I'll come back to eSearch after submitting documents so you can see what that looks like. ILR search, this is staging, so there's no data in here, but this is where you would find the new ILR search site if you have that enabled on your account. And then admin. So there's 3 different roles within eSubmission. One is a submitter admin. They have access to all this information. They can update submitter information like your address. They can update their own accounts, much like that password right there. They can update submitter payment information. If you're an admin, I want to tell you that when you come in here to look at something, don't be surprised, even after you select edit, that no banking information displays. It's certainly saved in the background, but it doesn't display. So keep that in mind. Don't be surprised. And that if you were to make an edit and then select save, again, the numbers disappear, but it is saved in the background. They can add users to the account. So this is our test environment. We got a lot of people going on in here. But if you wanted to add someone, you would select add, enter their username, choose a role. So let's say we'll add somebody here. We'll see if this one works for me. So I'm making myself a submitter admin. Actually, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to make this a search user because that was a question in the webinar responses of how do you add someone. So if you're a search admin or submitter admin, you can do that, and you can add people in different roles. So we're going to add this real quickly. So it all depends on what role you want them to have. Certainly they can be, they can have different roles here. So I've got all green showing that I've met all the requirements, and submit. Don't save, and Here's the one I just added. The status is pending. Status will update to active right after this user logs in with that temporary password and updates their password. There's not an email that is generated to a new user. That information all comes from you as an admin. So long story short, as an admin, to add someone to your account, select admin, select users, select add, complete all the fields, assign all the roles, assign a temporary password, have them log in. We usually recommend they do that within 30 minutes. Okay. Then let's take a look at some of these other people. So you can sort this by name to determine who's on your account, and you can change things around. You can sort by username if you're trying to find something. You can sort by role. So we've got search users, accounting users that have search, admin users that have search, and submitter users that do or don't have search. So there's lots of different things, but in eSubmission specifically, there are 3 roles. Admin, they can take care of reports, they can take care of users, updating information, updating payment information. Then we have submitters. They can submit documents and work on documents that they've had only they have submitted. They can't touch anybody else's documents like an admin can. So I think that's a great benefit of being an admin. Also, something that came from our focus groups is that you can edit documents or groups that other people on your team have submitted or created. And finally, the accounting role, which also from our focus group conversations, people wanted to be able to have someone that could generate a report and not be able to submit. So anybody that's pending, they need to log in and update their password. People are deactivated. Users are deactivated after 120 days. As an admin, if you need to reactivate someone, click right here to reactivate them and then confirm that. And if you have someone from your organization that has left and you want to delete them, it's pretty easy to do. I'm going to go ahead and delete this person that I just created and click right here. And that will say, are you sure you want to delete? Yes. So I think it's a good idea every once in a while to go through all of your users and make sure everyone still works there and clean them up. And then finally, if you wanted to reset a password, you could do that right here by clicking the round arrow and entering the new password. And we will not make that change today. So back to being a submitter. Okay. Talked about admin, except for reports. And let me show you what that looks like. It's a really great report that generates quickly. I'm going to do it for the current month, and we've only had 1 document recorded, so let's do September. So we had 42 documents recorded. You can change the number of entries that display. Everything is sortable, and you can scroll across. This is all exportable as well, but you can scroll across to determine who submitted it, the document type. This is the reference information if you want to check something, the submission number, and the group name. So all of that information is there. And it's a really good report that's easy to use, and it, as I said, it can be exported. Moving on to our support tab, we have a transfer tax calculator. You may remember if you used legacy eSubmission that was on the home screen. So we brought that back here. Customer support, how to connect with our team by mailing us something, emailing us, or calling us. So that information is always there. And then additional resources. This is where you would find training materials. If you scroll down, you come to webinars. This is the eSub webinar we recorded in June. Learn more about webinars, how to update passwords, FAQ. And up here also is webinars, which is a hot topic right now, something you might want to take a look at. So you've got some training, how to watch an e-submission, contact our team, visit a page, and there's the webinar. Oh, and here's the search that was recorded in August. And again, there's another webinar coming up next week. So this is the production environment that's displayed right now. Legacy search login looks different. ILR login, this is where you want to go to get to the home screen, the home page of the new site. Okay, that's what that looks like. And then request an account if you don't currently have a new search account. We did ask all users to submit an application, agree to the new terms of use. So you'll want to do that as well. Questions about that, let us know and we will be happy to help you. I'm going to go back to home and I'm going to kick off the demo here. So if anyone has any questions, jump in anytime because I am happy to make to answer your questions and get rid of all of your confusion if you have any. Pending groups are your to-do list, so think of that. Anything that's in there needs your attention. We'll work through some of these after we do the demo of a submission. So when you're ready to submit a group, you create the group before you submit it. You want to make sure you've got all your documents ready to go. Always scanned in black and white, portrait orientation, 300 DPI. That makes sure everybody ends up with a good quality recorded document. A tiny bit of color is okay if you don't have access to a black and white scanner, maybe a color signature, but nothing really more than that is encouraged, or anything more than that is probably discouraged. Okay. Think of this group kind of like a container or an envelope. Maybe you're going to walk over to the courthouse, drive over there, put something in the mail. You've got them in a folder or an envelope. And let's say if you're going to mail it, you'd probably put a note in that says, hey, to my dear friendly recorder, please record these documents for the Smith party. And they're in the order that I want them recorded. And let me know if you have any questions. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to address this container, which we call a group. Select the county, name it. And I'm going to use webinar, today's date, and test one, and then save. So now I've got this empty container, this envelope I'll address to go to the recorder. I'm going to start adding documents to it. So the first one I'm going to do is a deed. It's a conveyance document. The number of auditors fees, the transfer fee, that $5 fee defaults to 1. Enter the real estate value. So I'll do $85,000. There was a law change at the beginning of this year that said if you don't have if you have no positive conditions on a groundwater hazard statement, you don't have to submit it, but you do have to include that language on the document. So if that's the case, the system looks for the groundwater and the DOV with a conveyance document. And if you don't have those, you're going to select these boxes right down here. So in this case, we're going to say there's not a groundwater and select that box. And then I'm going to browse for the image. Remember, I scanned it in black and white, portrait orientation, 300 DPI. When I select save, it asks me for the party, and I can do grantor or grantee, person or organization, and I'll do People's Bank today. And then save. Only one party is required, and actually that's all you have room to enter. The county does index all the parties listed on the document. The system automatically calculated the fees. So let's take a look at those. The standard fee of $7, the image I attached was 1 page. The auditor fee of $5 from right here, and then the transfer tax calculated based on the $85,000 value, a $3 e-submission fee. So that fee is assessed on all documents except for a DECA value and a groundwater. And it's also got the total group fees up here, so you can keep track of what you are submitting and what your fees will be. There is a report that you can generate easily, that settlement report, after the documents are recorded. It's telling me that it requires a declaration of value. I'm going to add that next. and browse for an image. Remember, scan these in black and white and portrait orientation. It populates this name, so I can change that if I want to. So if I wanted it to be People's First Bank, easy switch. And if I were to delete it, it tells me now that I need to add one, and you would have to go back in and enter that information again. And then save. And then let's do one more document in this group, a power of attorney. And grab that. Remember, test environment, so I'm using anything I can get. And the party name does default to what you entered on the first document. So if I edited on the second, it's still going back to the first. Okay, so you've got everything here. There's no conditions. There's nothing in orange saying, hey, you need to add this or anything. You know this is the group you're working on because it's locked. And if another user clicked on that group to start reviewing it, there would be a message that displayed that says, hey, Corey is looking at this one. Please acknowledge that so that you're aware that somebody else is looking at it. You've got these groups here, these docs here. You can delete anything you want. You can change the county. So maybe you want to submit to Adams, and it's making that change right there. You want to change the order. You want this POA to be at the top. You're going to left click on it and pull it right up here to the top. If you remember legacy e-submission, you had to click arrows to get everything in the right order. So you can still add documents to this. I'm going to add one more. I'll add a mortgage. I was kind of looking for something bigger here. And it's only $12. There's the $3. And you can see that the total group fees have updated here for all the documents that are on here. Last step is always submit group. Okay, so remember that submit group is always the last thing that you do before you send it off to the recorder and you receive this message that has been submitted successfully. A group status of in progress indicates the group has not been submitted. So I've got some test groups queued up here for some processing we'll be working on in the next few days. Anyone have any questions real quick before I continue? Okay. Let me submit another group. So new submission, Adair, name it. Group names can be anything you like that will help you find this group later. Okay, so it can be anything that you want it to be. It does have to be unique. So if I had used this name previously and I wanted to use it again so I could find it because, if webinar was their last name or their file number or whatever, if you put a space in there, it becomes unique. And so you can continue kind of using those same naming conventions that will help you find them. And so now I've got this group way here at the bottom. I know this is my group because it has the lock on it. I'm going to start adding docs to it. Affidavit of transfer, I'm going to add that one. And this is where I think I always jump up and down on my education field. So affidavit of transfer is conveying property. It's like a affidavit of surviving spouse. Okay, so it conveys property, and that's why there's an auditor fee here, and that can be increased if you need it to, if you're transferring more than one parcel. And we'll make that be 3 and then save it. And so you've got 3 transfer fees, standard fee of 7 for 1 page in the document, e-submission, and then $25, and you see the total group fees. So remember, affidavit of transfer conveys or transfers property. The other one is the affidavit of non-transfer, a statement of fact, usually like a trustee's warranty deed or a purchaser's affidavit. So these don't convey they convey property. They do report facts. Okay, they state facts. So we're going to save that. And if everything looks good, you're good to go. It's easy process because it, remember, it populates the name. I can certainly edit that if I want to. If I wanted to be Elizabeth or something like that. But remember, you only enter one party. The county indexes all the parties on the document. And last step always is submit group. You can do it down there, or you can do it up at the top. If you have a message for the recorder, you certainly can edit it. And you can enter that down here. If something is of big concern, or you submitted something in error, I would call the county. If you ever submit a group in error, need something returned to you, have a question about something, please call the county. Don't call our office about specifically about something submitted in error, because we cannot return those to you. So call the county. I'm always concerned that something will get recorded when maybe we're at lunch or involved in another problem. So call the county, ask them to decline it. Okay. And if it's after hours, if it's after, maybe the recorder's office is closed after 4 or 4:30, potentially call us. We can get some emails out to them, or work with you in any way we can to get them contacted, but certainly contact the county first. And everything looks good. So I could go ahead and submit that. Oh wait, I have to fix this one, but that was how to enter a note for the recorder. Okay, any questions, anyone? If not, I'm going to move on to documents that are in fee change and decline status. I'm going to back up just a tiny bit here. After the docs are submitted, they show up in a queue for the recorder. It looks much like this with pending groups. Status is ready for recorder, and they would be able to see those, and they would start reviewing them. And so they review each image, they place the stamp in that 3-inch margin that's out there. And if everything is good, they approve it. But then there are times where, much like the mail, they come back to you. So if something is declined, you would receive an email telling you that it was declined. And I have one here, so I'm going to grab that for you. It would look like this. Staging, submission, e-submission, submission declined. And this one, wrong county. And this was a Bank Iowa, one of the Bank Iowa groups that I demoed earlier this week, but it was declined. But here's what I like. It's got the recorder's name, whoever did it at the recorder, either the recorder or one of his or her deputies, their email and their phone number. So you can certainly easily connect with them to ask questions. But here's what you do. It's going to show here back here in your pending groups. If you have multiple documents in a group and all of them were declined, you're going to get multiple emails, one email for each document, so you can keep it straight what you're going to do. You're going to log in. You're going to go to Bank Iowa. You're going to go to the group name of declined. It's going to open up the documents in the group. You're going to click on the submission number. You're going to see what they wanted. They said it was submitted to the wrong county, or down here previously, I had used this in testing that the notary signature is missing. And you're going to make the correction. So they wanted it submitted to a different county in this one. And I'm going to change the county. So I'll change it to Adams. Everything goes into resubmission because they're both, I think they were both the same. We're going to pretend they're both the same. Okay. And then that group's ready to be submitted. That one's pretty easy. Let's go on to this webinar decline that I created this morning. So we've got a couple things going on here. In one document, the fee amount has been changed. all you have to do is select the fee change box and it will go into resubmission. So that's pretty easy. So the recorder received it, they reviewed it, and they said you needed one additional transaction. They added that, and so the fees went up and you're approving those by clicking that box. Status goes to resubmission. You know, this is the group you're working on because of the padlock on it. The status is still recorder fee change. And that's because you've still got these docs down here that are declined. Could it be recorder declined? Maybe. But anyway, they're down there and they are ready for you to work on the declines. So you've got the email, so you know what you need to do, but you click on the submission number. You can take a look down here. It says the signature is missing. So what are you going to do? You're going to get that document signed. You're going to click right here. You're not going to add a new document to the group. You're going to add a new image here. You're going to click right here next to the document, type on edit, and then down here under replace document image, and you're going to find the new one. Remember testing, I'm using miscellaneous documents. You're going to select save. The fees update if you change the number of pages. If you change the document type here, that would update as well. But if everything looks good, now the status on that one is resubmission. And we've still got this one, this power of attorney. So click on the submission number. Remember, you've got the email, but you can come down here and let's see, the notary stamp is missing. So same thing. Click the submission number, click edit, and find the new image. And then save. And if everything looks good, everything's in resubmission, it's the right county, you agree with the fees, you've got the total group fees right here, the total of numbered documents right there. You know this is the one that you worked on, you're going to select submit group. Now on to fee change. So if you were to mail a document to the recorder and the fees were incorrect after review, they would send the check back to you and you would have to cut another check to do this. In electronic recording, a fee is changed in here and you do have to accept the fee changes, but it's a quick process. There has been discussion for down the road that says, hey, if it's under this amount as a submitter, we could agree to accept those fee changes, but it hasn't been developed yet. So it's a ways down the road. All you have to do is click these fee change boxes. It updates to resubmission. Remember, you've got those emails. So if you agree with everything, that's really an easy way. The email always refers to this submission number. I think that's one. Here's one right there. So this was from the previous group, but you've got that submission number. So you know which one you're looking at, and it went up from 15 to 60. So everything's good there. But if you agree with it, submit group. I think this process is really easy for submitting things. And then okay, we're going to wait for everything to catch up here. Okay. All right. So quick questions for all of you. Do you have any questions that I can answer right now, or you want me to keep going? Okay, let's go to eSearch and talk about documents that you have recorded. So documents that your organization recorded, you submit documents, the recorder reviews, the recorder records, you receive an email telling you that it was recorded and you want to grab that image for your files. You're going to select eSearch and then search recently recorded and search. There's a blue bar, that's the progress bar. And here you have the last 500 documents that have been recorded by your organization. It's not by user, it's by organization, okay? So it would be great if we could do 500 for yours, but you've got your group name, so you know what that is, you know what county it is. Everything is sortable. So if you're looking for, hey, how many abstract of judgments did we record last month, or affidavit of transfers, okay? So they're all like that. You can also search. So you're looking for a specific deed. You can add that into the search field here. And I don't know why we got deck of value in that search, but we got deed. And if we keep going, I'm going to have, that's, it seems off to me. Anyway, you can put that in here. Let's do one more. You can search by a group name. So Myrna is one of our developers, and I'm going to search by her name. And so you've got all of the group names that included Myrna. So if you were searching for a client's name, I think this works really well for you. And then to grab that image for your records, click on the submission number, review document, and you will be able to download it here if you want, if you like, or over here you've got a small print icon if you wanted to print that. It's kind of hard to see, so I always like to point that out so you can find that. But then you've got those records for your file. And just an FYI that at certain times throughout the year, the storage for e-recorded images fills up. So we archive them. So they might not be available here any longer. And we don't do like last week's, we'll do like 6 months ago. Okay. So, but then you certainly can always get those documents on the Iowa Land Records site. So we're at about 10:33. Do you have questions about e-submission? Because if you don't, I'm going to switch over to Iowa Land Records search real quickly for all of you. Everybody good? Okay, so this is the production, and I'm going to log in. My view is a little bit different because I have an admin view, but I want you to see how to use the new Iowa Land Records search. And get my code here. And log in. Okay. So my view is a little bit different, but the process is the same. So as a user, you're going to have ILR search up here. It's going to take you to this, okay? As an admin, I start in a different place. Takes me to exactly the same place, okay? So we're going to do a name search. We're search by person name. We are going to use our project manager, Phil Dunchey. We're going to do his name, and I'm searching for only Phil. He lives in Polk County, and I'm going to do a custom date of from 2000 forward. And then search. It'll take a second, but here we've got all of Phil's information and his wife, mortgage, power of attorney, da 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 da. Okay, so here's the difference in the old search and the new search. In the old search, if I had entered Dunchey and Phil, I would have gotten all of his records for anything that was Phil or Philip. The wildcard was implied in the legacy site. It is not. You have to use it. So I'm going to do this search again so you can see that I got 14 results with only entering Phil. Now I'm going to enter the wildcard here. So this will catch anything that is Phil or Philip, and sometimes Philip is spelled with one L, sometimes it's spelled with two. So I'm going to go ahead and search for that. And let's find out what we get. And now we get 21 results. Okay. So remember that the wild card is not implied in the new search. There is a learning curve, and I want you to know that. You can also search by reference search. So we'll use this one right here, 18130-194, and search by book and page and enter the county. So I like that little search function. Now I can just start typing in the letters of the county and then search. It's thinking. And there's the same document. If you were to go by location search, you can search platted or unplatted. We'll search Adair. I'm going to try this one and see what happens. If you are uncertain how a county searches, I think it's always good to search for 1 week or several days of their recording, so you can see how they index. Some counties use book and page, some use reference numbers, and so that's a really good way to do that. And you can do that down here under county search, and I'll show you how to do that. We'll let this search finish out. Oh no, okay, can you hear me now? Okay, good. All right, people running down the hall to my office. All right. I'm sorry that you lost me. Let's do some more quick search here. Okay, so I've got these results. This is the index information. So if you want to see that, always go back. You can download the PDF here. You can see all of the people that are included and the organizations. You can look at the image, and this is where you can report a problem. So it's indexed incorrectly, or it has a bad image, or you found some personally identifiable information like a social security number or bank account information. Both. Okay, so I'm not going to submit that, but if I did submit it, it would show up in a queue for our information, for our team at the office to look at it and fix it. So scrolling down to this one, this partial satisfaction of lien that has an extra icon. It's an associated document icon, and when you click on that, it takes you over here to, this is the summary information on the doc that you were looking at, but right here is the associated doc references, and you can look at the image and you can look at the index information. So wow, there's a lot there. That's exciting. Okay, so that's a really good feature, I think, in the new site. You can go back, and now we're going to talk about doc type search. We'll use Dallas again and search for mortgage in this month. There you go. So this might be a special one if you're a mortgage company who is looking for something, and you can refine this and change this around. Thanks for your patience, everyone, like Kristen said. So maybe you wanted to search by book and page and ascending, and you apply that and it resorts. So there you've got all of them. And I love this. Okay, and then finally, advanced search. If you wanted to do some advanced searching, searching for mine, how about that? I'm gonna look for a deed. Oh, okay. So I'm going to refine that. I'm going to add this. I'm going to add warranty deed to it. Well, this is a problem because this is where I live. Seems like everything should be there. I should have tested this before. I'm just going to say nothing. I'll be testing that again before the next webinar. So everybody, thanks for your patience today. I hope you have learned lots about Iowa Land Records and e-submission. I'm a huge fan of both services. I love the efficiency of e-submission, that you can submit 24/7 from any computer with internet access. It's not always mobile friendly, but you might be able to make it work. I think it's probably better on a tablet when you've got more room to work. Almost 60% of documents were recorded electronically in Iowa last year. That number continues to grow. That percentage continues to grow, even though, as many of you probably know, recording volume is down a little bit. It's a function of the economy. Our team is based in Johnston. We're a small but mighty team. There are 9 of us total. So we're a small but mighty team, and we offer really good customer service. We're always happy to help you, always happy to walk you through anything. And if you have a team that needs a webinar like this, we're happy to do that. If you have new users, and they have the first document that they're getting ready to submit, the first group of documents they're going to submit, we'd be happy to walk them through it, or you through it, or whatever. You can call us, put us on speaker. We're really happy to help you with that information. There is a learning curve to the new site for search. The old site will go away sometime later this year, close to the end of the year. A date has not been determined. If you're not currently using the new site, haven't submitted an application, or have an application but you're not using it, I'm really going to encourage you to start using it so that you become familiar with it before the old site goes away. There is a change, as you can see, if you're used to using it. So with that, thank you so much. Kristen will get more information out to you regarding what's coming up. Rachel, I don't know who you are, but thank you so much for your kind words. We really appreciate that. Thanks for your patience, everyone, today with your the little technical difficulty, and have a really good day. You've got our information. Never, ever, ever, ever be afraid to call our office and ask for help. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a really good day.